we cannot leave this world. We cannot leave this world. Because there must be a reason why somebody will see you as different from themselves. There must be a reason why a person will contact you as a teacher to come and impact their child. Now, what is that thing that you know better than that? Now, what is that conviction that they have that you can impart or teach their child more than they do? Because of the value that you created, the knowledge that you can pass on. So passion is innate, like I said from the start. That it starts from within. That's what it is. And it's either you have it or you don't. Now you see that word is a misconception. Now, like she said, you don't, everything you start is not meant to do well. You don't, it's not because you started that you do well. There must be other factors involved, and never misconceptions, like don't have any misconception to feel that money is not one of those things that you have that is a propelling force to how your business will thrive. Never think that strategy is not one of those things. Alright, so passion is often developed through exposure, skill building, and time. So I also wrote this down. It just simply aligns with exactly what she had talked about. So it just simply aligns with exactly what she had talked about. So she talked about this. And I also wrote, like we had already planned it. So I also wrote that if it's hard, it's not with passion. That's a misconception. I did not wake up one day and I took the keyboard and I started playing it. And it was not hard. I did it continuously till I knew that it was first of all making sense to me. Then I could also share with other people what I have learned. So, even passion involves hard work and frustration. Now, the word frustration may sound like, but actually it's very intentional. Frustration is real. When it comes to business, there are times where you are in the marketplace and that thing that you were up, that thing you're doing is not moving as expected. Sometimes it involves re-strategizing. Sometimes it just involves God, simply put. Because to do something consistently without feeling any halt or any like less progress in what you're doing just involves a lot more than what is expected. So passion will yield overnight access. It actually doesn't work that way. Success. It actually doesn't work that way. There must be a process. So passion is not a free pass to succeed. It only forces you, like I said, there's a distance to be covered. Looking at the push you have, there must be a push on a certain object, seeing yourself as the object or subject to cover a certain distance, which is that path you want to go, which is your dream. Alright, so next, let's see. Alright, so I also just put down, I don't know how much time I have left. Alright, so why identifying passion matters? Simply, identify your passion matters because of some of these things: food more, motivation and energy, clarity and direction, resilience and persistence, authenticity and confidence. I said some minutes ago, what sets you apart is your authenticity. You see, we are in a generation where we have a lot of information that has been disclosed to us. We have a lot of information that has been disclosed to us. But what sets you apart is your authenticity. There's a way you do things that over time, with consistency, now begins to make sense, not only to you, but to the general. like within the marketplace must set you apart from what every other person is doing. And the confidence to showcase that thing, which I highlighted, and you must have more impact, you must be progressive at what you do. Alright, so passion and discipline. Alright, let's look at passion and career alignment. Now this part seems very is where a lot of people want to branch out. You have a passion, you have that thing that you are very confident that you will do well at. Like you said, you're sure that you will do well at this thing. But how do you now make it a career? How you make it a career is being able to kill that doubt within yourself first. There's no two ways about it. You must be able to take the first step. If you don't try, you will never know what will be or what will be. If you don't try, you don't take the first step, how will you know if it will happen? So some of all these things is I describe it as a relationship between mastery, value creation, and strategic positioning. Just a minute, please. Some of them never even knew that they even were as good as they actually are. But with discipline and intentionality, they actually wanted the better version of themselves, so they kept doing it. That's where discipline lies. So value, like I said, is that thing that people are willing to pay you for. Now I use the word pay here because I'm now talking about not just having innate value, but having something that people have already seen this thing, and they are now willing to see that okay, Lawrence is a phone repairer. If I give him my Samsung phone, he'll be able to repair the Samsung phone and do an excellent job, and he performs well. So strategic positioning I define as how you and your product stands out within the marketplace. How do you and your product stand out within the marketplace? So the last part where I actually want to look at a bit theory and practical between the importance of saving and prioritizing. Now, we've already identified the fact that at a certain point in your entrepreneurial journey, you will get to the point where people have seen a certain thing that you are capable of doing to a level that it is excellent, to a level that it is good. You cannot take excellence from it is very easy to separate excellence from what is not that good. Clearly, we all have that human condition. So at that point in time, you now have to monetize. When I mean monetize, you have to put a certain tag. Now, some of these things can be very flexible. When you start off, you must be able to learn and unlearn at every point in time. So you now tag your product and say, okay, I want this thing to sell at this price. Look around at when you are, especially when you are starting up, look at how people are doing it and keep doing it. It's clear, it's very important. You want to stand out, but look at how what already works. What already works, stand at the marketplace and distinguish your product, not with anything, but uh, with a clear direction, authenticity, and also add God in what you're doing. Alright, at that point in time, when you begin to sell out, when you begin to make money from what you do, it's clear that you must save and prioritize. Now, these things go together. Take, for example, you keep pouring, you have two cups. One is full and the other is empty. You keep pouring into the other cup that is empty from the cup that is filled up. And it gets to a point that the cup that was filled up has nothing left. Now that's the way life works. You keep you earn money from a thing, and at the end of the day, most of the time, some people tell you, I don't even know what I use the money to. For real. And that's what separates a disciplined and an entrepreneur that is lacking in discipline. It's clear. Some of all these things, take, let's say you always have your income. You make 100,000, you have it. Or even, let's say, you just add like one third of your income. You keep storing it there. You keep saving it, planning towards that thing that is your final destination with a clear mind of why you started. It will always get to a certain point that you realize that I've made I've made a million. I mean, like you just made a million. It's clear, like you won't be surprised how you will save up 100, 200, 300. So it's actually, I just want us to always have a clear sense of why we have this passion, of why we are headed toward a certain direction, and why we have to keep our authenticity. Because your authenticity is not from you, but it's from a sense that you have a reason why God has created you, and you also have a clear destination of where you are headed and the person who you want to become. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
I don't know that minds are being creative right now, but having received such information is a building up in our minds, isn't it? And so goals are being set up. We are writing down certain things, and our passion is building up as well. So once again, we want to say thank you. Thank you so very much for that section. And don't forget that we're going to be having some interactive sections, questions and answers sections as well. So just be attentive and know that today is your day. Say, today is my day. Okay, so at this moment, I want to call on the staff young initiative organizer to help us with the next event. So let's
Thank you. How did you find the previous session?
yeah.
Energy. Are you hungry? What's going on? Why is the energy low? How did you find the previous session, the dancing beats? Interesting, amazing. I love that. So I tried my best to, because part of what we're talking about here today is entrepreneurship. And I try to get people who are doing things that a couple of years ago would have seemed unconventional. Who knew making music could make you so much money? But now music has become a business to the point where you have successful people, who are making so much money from music production, from just singing, rapping, different things. And I've been blessed and privileged to be able to watch his journey. He's someone who I know personally, everyone here knows that. And I see how he has been able to create something for himself using his passion, using music. from the fact that one, I know when he started making beats in his room with his old laptop, I have seen the journey. I have seen how he has been able to invest in himself, get tools, start his own studio. I have seen the transition that he has done from Benin to Lagos, how he has been able to do so much for himself. I have seen how, compared to so many people that I know, he was able to start early. I have seen his doings, say doings choke. And that's why I knew it was imperative for him to be here today, for him to tell you himself that, because it's best to hear from the horse's mouth, for him to tell you himself that you can do something that people look down on you. A lot of people can tell their parents, I want to be a music producer, and they'll say, I feel like I don't want to be a lawyer. People don't believe you. The applause doesn't come until you start doing it. So when you start to do it and they see doings, that's when they believe. People believe actions, not words. And when you start, especially for something that is not so conventional, people can look down on you and feel, this one, you're not taking your life seriously. But then when it starts to pay out, so trust the process. And this is just a word for someone who, you have a passion, but that passion is not, you are even afraid or ashamed to talk about it so people don't think you're serious. He is a prime example that you can do something that people look down on or don't find so profitable or is not so conventional, and you can be successful at it. So once again, let's give a round of applause to Dan. But we cannot truly talk about entrepreneurship without, like you mentioned, talking about saving, prioritizing, financial management, saving, having a savings, proper saving, knowing how to plan. And with that, I want to welcome our next speaker. He's going to tell us about making money moves, smart money moves. He's going to tell us about saving, financial management for young people, for entrepreneurs. So let's all welcome Mr. Isoke.
Thank you. How are you doing? Good afternoon. Okay, so I want us to mix up the energy. I don't have the slides, like I don't have the slides, so it's going to be interactive. So when we talk about money, we need it to be interactive. So I need you to ask all the questions you want to ask so that we can better understand how it works. So please, can we stand up first? Let's stand up. Let's raise the energy. Let's raise the energy. So we're going to play. There is a very little game. We're going to play a little game. So what will happen is, we're going to start from you, moves to you, moves to the next person, moves to the next person. How we play this game? You give a word, any word at all. So your word will be shoe. So what you have to do, the last letter of the word he mentions, you use it to form the word. Right? So if he says shoe, I will say egg. Because the last letter in shoe is what? E. So if I say egg, you can say game. Like that. So if you don't get it, you sit down. The last person gets a prize from me. Can we do that? Please, come on, let me introduce myself. My name is Mr. Isoke Musai. I work with Sterling Bank. I'm the regional education officer. I manage education business for Sterling. Okay, so can we start? Okay, can we start? So, Sam, let's go. What is it? God. What's the last word in Panadol? Is it T?
No.
So you have to sit down. So what do you give a word? What? Lunch. Next. You can't get lunch now. No. He said lunch. House. Fantastic. Education. Nation. Go out to be faster. What do they say?
Neat.
Neat. Neat start with a K. Nation is to end, right?
Said net.
You said net. I thought you said neat. Okay, ma'am, please.
Top.
Top. Mommy, the way you look domestic girls. Okay, we'll come to you. Say top. Top. COP. Parrot.
Ten.
What?
10.
10.
Nation.
Okay. Naomi, fine. No, Naomi ends with I, right?
Ink.
Ink. Okay, I gave you that. So you?
Nothing.
Okay, man, so give it, start with the fresh. So you have to end up. Start with the fresh one. The fresh one. Issue. Yes, ma'am.
Excellent.
Excellent. From that, she's really fastest.
Yeah.
Okay, let's start for ourselves. Let's see that. So how are we doing? How are we all doing? How are we doing? Okay, so I want to talk about financial literacy. Financial literacy. Financial literacy. Now, when we say financial literacy, we're simply talking about understanding the foundation of your relationship with money. That's financial literacy. Having the knowledge of money, having the knowledge of how it works. It's not the person that has the most money that's the most wealthy. It's not. It's the person that has the most information of what to do with what money. So I'm going to start with a question. How many of us have a bank account? Do you have a bank account? Okay, you have a bank. Fantastic. Let me tell you everybody has a bank account. So why don't you have a bank account? There's no age limit to having a bank account. There's none. How old are you, sir? How old are you? What's your name, sorry? Jonathan. So how old are you? 16. Wow, I was thinking you were younger. You will say 12. 16. So why don't you have a bank account? Why don't you have a bank account? You don't have what? You don't have NIN. So why don't you have an NIN? Is it because you're not 18? No, let's hear. It's money we're talking about. It has to be interactive. So I want us to come from a place of the unknown and move to the things that we know, and then let me say I can demystify some things for you. No, go ahead. Just feel free to talk to me, okay? So why don't you have a bank account? You said you don't have NIN. Is there age restriction to having NIN? No. Okay. So maybe if you have said you can't do a BVN because you are not 18, even without a BVN, you can still open an account. There are accounts that we call some bank call it children accounts, some banks call it say, some bank call it chess account, children investment, and all of that. So you're not up to 18, you don't want a BVN because for every bank account must be open with a bank verification number. And you must be an adult to get what your BVN. But if you don't, if you can't get your BVN, you can get your parents to open an account for you with their BVN. Not just your parents, but also be your guardian to open an account for you. Okay, now for those that have accounts, how many of you run a savings account, please? A savings account. Yes. Okay. So how many of you will agree with me that the banks pay interest on your savings account every month? No, let me say they don't pay you. Just tell me they don't pay you. They don't pay you. Oh, I'm glad Shalom that they pay you. Man, they don't pay you. And they never pay you. And I'm sure you have done so much with the bank, right? Why? You should sue your bank. What bank is that? What? Zenith. Zenith. Zenith have plenty money. Why are they not paying you now? So who else are they not paying? I have a savings account too. They are not paying you. So don't think you are the only one. They are not paying. What bank is that? First bank. Okay, now see the way it is now. One of the most regulated institutions in the country is the bank. It is very difficult for banks to mislead. Right? Because we are highly regulated by CBN. Any small thing we do, either they are finding out or sanctioning us, so we are very careful. So what it means is that if you have a savings account and we are not paying you, your bank is not paying you interest, you will competition CBN. And they will find a bank, and the bank will take the legal action and will pay you so much. But now this is the problem. No bank will pay you interest on your account if you transact more than 4 times in a month. Nobody will pay you interest in a savings account if you transact more than 4 times in a month. Do you know where the problem is? You treat your savings account like a current account. Your savings account is not a transactional account. It's not supposed to be a day-to-day transactional account. That is supposed to be a current account. But you now put a savings account. In a day, you can do 10 transactions. First, you don't buy a charge. When I say transaction, I mean not more than 4 debits should pass through the account. Whether you're transferring money or you're paying recharge card or you're paying for utility bills, it should not be more than 4 transactions. Now you see, so your payments, your interest payments on account is automated. It's automated, nobody discusses. So once you have done a transaction, calculate the number of transactions, the amount you have in the account, it just pays you a percentage of it. It's automated. But you will not get paid if the system notices that you have transacted more than what? 4 times. So you see, let me use my sister as an example. You probably have done 20-something million and your interest is going to pay you about 200,000. You're not aware. But because you're transacting more than 4 times, you've lost it. It doesn't matter how big the interest is. Why did I start from here? Information. Information. That's why I'm starting from there. Information. If you don't know there is a lot that you're going to work, so lose. There's a lot that you're going to lose. So when you don't have the information of how things work, my dear, you might not be sitting on the road, my dear, you just lose it. So that's what we're here to talk about today. Please, who has money in the house? Anybody that has money here, can you please show me money? Anybody that has money, let's go home. Now, so my training debut on gist, so just keep talking and I hope you are getting it. Okay. Plenty money. Can I collect them? I won't return them. You give me, I will give you back. Okay, stand up, stand with your money. What's she holding in her hand? Huh? That's not money, that's currency.
Yeah.
That's not money. That's currency. But to be true, currency is also a form of what?
Money.
But because you have been designed and wired to understand that is this paper that is called money limits you. Everything in this room is what? Is money. Everything is money. So anything, if you look, there was a time for just trade by barter. It has cow, I have goats. Give me your cow, I give you. Give me your cow, I give you yam. Because you are in need of yam, I'm in need of cow. But again, the value of the cow does not equate that of the yam, but it was trade by barter. That's why it didn't last. Then we moved to cowries. So money has so evolved that we're moving from one thing to another, moving from one thing to another. But the whole idea about it is that whatever we can exchange for goods and services automatically becomes what? Money. Right? So if I needed, Shalom has invited me to speak today, and probably Shalom has a boutique. And there's this good suit I need for office. And Shalom is selling, right? And I tell Shalom, I want you to come and speak. Okay, I don't need you to pay me, I don't want to pay me in currency. If I come and speak and you feel you are satisfied with whatever lectures today, I'll come and pick up that suit. What has happened? Have I paid? I've paid. Money has been involved in that transaction, but there was no what? Paper. You can see that money. But there was no paper or currency. Right? So, but money transactions are what? Have been involved. So, like I stated before, it is not the person with the most money that becomes very wealthy. It's the person with what? The most information. So across every walks of life, there are so many things that are going on in the financial world, so many investments where you can easily put in your money and then you get a lot for it. But today we're looking at entrepreneurship, right? And then we're looking at the financial aspect of entrepreneurship. First thing first, it will take discipline for you to build any business, right? It will take discipline. And I want to talk about discipline. We'll focus on You not being perfect, but being excellent. Not being perfect, but being what? Excellent. It's going to be difficult to attain perfection, especially when you're dealing with people. But excellence should be your trademark. Now, what do I mean? Let's differentiate it. Okay, so you run a printing press. Now, what's your name? Sorry, your name, man. Glory. So, Glory runs a printing press. And it does, you see now some of these shirts where you now print your face on it, right? That's what you do. So, somebody brings a job for you. And they said, do 20 of this for me in different people's face. And then along the line, errors, there are errors. So the ink will not show the mistake. What's that? No perfection. Are you getting it? Now, where does excellence come in? The courtesy for you to pick your call and explain to this customer, okay, there's an issue with one or two. I don't know. Would you like to see it or will you reprint it? The courtesy for you to give the customer the close and the customer notices it and calls you and says, Madam, what's happened to two of these stuff now? The courtesy for you to be calm and say, I'm sorry, this must have been our error. So what do you think we should do? Right? Are you getting excellence? Not perfection. You must be excellent at what you do. And another thing I'm going to mention, when you do business, it's important that you prioritize resolution. Sorry, you prioritize reconciliation over resolution. Reconciliation over resolution. Now, we'll talk about money, don't worry, we'll talk about money, but let's give a foundation. So, I'll also give you an example. What we say prioritize reconciliation over resolution. So, let's use that same customer. Now, that customer is angry. They need to use that thing for a wedding that day. You have mixed up the clothes, right? So he's angry at the point, you know the way customers are now. You can start insulting you, talk to you anyhow. You too, you are human. Anger start what? They start dwelling, emotions start running, and sometimes you want to talk back. There's a place the customer will talk now. You wait here, I'm not going to replace her. We're going to replace her, we'll change it. Then you go and do two new man, you give her, let the customer what? Go. Like I say in business. One angry customer that leaves has gone more than 20. That's best we call that. Now, so what is the reconciliation there? If what you have done is that you have resolved the issue, you resolved it, just resolution, that's what you've done. But it is important that you focus on reconciliation so that this customer will come back again. Yes, we made a mistake. Yes, we corrected it. But how do we get him to come back again? Do you get it? So instead of you getting angry and say we don't do and come carry your things, they go carry your wahala, they go. Okay, insults are words, they don't chase, they don't really do anything to you. Are you getting it? So leave out the insult, focus on the error that you made. Do it, even while you speak out and tell you, say, bros, you need to get patient. So I don't see my anger doesn't really the top since now another customer they forgot fight. They forgot fight. But for you, right? Just not good, you only just shout. He actually messed up. But you only just shout, you just take patient with us. God bless you, my brother. You give him the problem. He will come. He will come back. He will come back. Reconciliation. Also in business, you don't react, you respond. You don't react, you respond. Reacting is instant. Bro, when you pass now, I want you act immediately. You probably want to, you want to see what is wrong with you. But if you're going to respond, it takes your time. You don't react, you respond. No matter what the anger is, just calm yourself, gradually respond. So that's why we're saying, if the things just happen, take a moment to yourself. Reacting is instant. You just want to respond. You wait in the pain. You are feeling the pain. You want to say something back to that person. You want to do something back. You want to take some decision. Some business partners are broken up because of the same thing. Something we could have just taken 1 week. Well, stay on your own, stay on my own. You reason, let's come back to the table and talk about it. We'll just react and sort ourselves and we'll break our relationship. Businesses that could have become multinationals and then over small ideas. Right? So please let's pay attention to these 2 points. It's important. Now you might say it's just not business, it's in every walk of life. Are you guys trying to see? Only just met here.